What's up, everybody? This is the video for our Share the Light competition. Challenge number 2, all about high key lighting. The jury today is Yutsai, Roberto Valenzuela, and the gentleman from ABDM Studio, Ahmad and Dante. It's a really fantastic conversation and critique on the chosen 6 images and then the overall winner. We're going to roll that now, and I hope you enjoy it, because I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed being a part of it. It was very, very fun. So here we go. What's up, everybody? This is Jury 2 from the Share the Light photo competition. This month, we concentrated on high key images. We had a ton of really incredible photographs, and we have an awesome jury of photographers that are going to break down their selects that they have come together to choose, and then we're going to announce a winner, and someone's going to win some Profoto prizes, some good stuff, and then also continue on the race for the gold, the Pro 11 that is not made of gold but is wrapped in some gold vinyl, which makes it kind of cool. It's sparkly, it's fun, everyone loves that. First up, we have Yutsai. Hello, my friend.
Hello, good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you as well. I'm going to bring in our buddy Ahmad Barber. Ahmad, hello, my friend.
Hey there, hey there.
We've got Roberto Valenzuela in the house.
Peace, everyone.
And last but never least, Dante Maurice.
Happy to be here with the legends.
Yeah, all the best, all the best. We're really, really excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for taking the time to go through. I mean, there were a ton of images. There were a ton of really, really amazing images, and y'all went through, took the time, and picked out 6 incredible photographs for us to talk about, and then for y'all to pick a winner of. If you don't mind, just really quick, let's go through and give a quick introduction of yourselves for maybe people who don't know who you are. I don't know who would, but just in case. So let's start with you, Yutsai.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yutsai, and I'm a celebrity fashion photographer. I reside in Los Angeles, and often in New York, wherever the clients will travel me. And that's all you need to know for today. And I've been using Profoto since day 1.
Ahmad, you want to hit us up?
Yeah, hi, my name is Ahmad Barber. I am one half of ABDM Studio with Dante Maurice. I'll let him give his introduction. We are a fashion photography duo based in Atlanta, but like you said, we go where the work takes us. We too have been Profoto users from very early on. Profoto has really brought a lot of our images to life and helped us really push ourselves to do some amazing things. So we're excited to be here to judge. I'll kick it to Roberto.
Let's do it.
Hey, everyone. I'm Roberto Valenzuela. This is my first year as a photographer. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
I got a camera for Christmas last year. I'm feeling really good.
In this, I'm learning that you can take the lens out of the camera these days. It's crazy.
Yes.
I'm a Profoto loyalist, big time user. I'm a Canon Explorer of Light and the author of 8 top-selling books in photography. And I have a studio here in LA, and I do fashion photography, and I used to do weddings, which I very much miss.
Dante.
What's going on, y'all? So I'm Dante, the other half of ABDM. And like Ahmad and Yutsai said, we live in Atlanta, but we go wherever the bat signal is calling us to. So we are always ready. Obviously, we've been shooting with Profoto since day 1, since we could dream of Profoto and knew it was possible to use it and afford it. So yeah, we're happy to be here. We're grateful, and we're ready to get into these photos.
Let's do it. Perfect. So let's pop up these photos, and we're going to start off with Christopher Fernandez. So, who wants to go first? Give us their input, what we see here.
I'll jump right in. Oh, go ahead.
You go, Yutsai. Nope,
no. Alphabetical order. Your name is start with the A.
Well, yeah. So I really enjoy this particular shot because it really kind of showed an innovative approach to really what an high key image looks like, and looking at their share the light um, entry and showcasing their process. They actually use the psych wall as their lighting, and kind of to create this kind of even wall of light to kind of bounce against that color backdrop. And it was just really innovative to kind of really flip what you normally see as like using that high key white backdrop as the backdrop, and they turned it around and made that their actual key light. So I just thought that was really cool, and kind of creating this abstract effect that just added a little bit more interest to the image. I actually appreciated the entire series.
That's fantastic. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. That's my bad. Let me go back. That was a Christopher problem. Perfect. What about you, Roberto? What do you think about this?
I think it's extremely creative. I do respect the when photographers do something different than what you normally would expect, especially when you're trying to compete in a competition. I think Ahmad said something cool, some cool stuff about the way he used the light to create this movement. This has motion blur. It keeps you looking at the image. It's exciting. It makes you guess how it was taken. And I think at this point in the photo world, those are some pretty important aspects to have in an image like this.
What do you think, Itzai?
But before I jump in, let's talk about. I want to hear from you guys how do you define high key images, right? And when we're asked to be judged for this, I gotta be honest. For me, there's so many different words that goes with the technique that what we do, and
Yeah.
I think I can speak for all of us. Those technique kind of goes away when you start creating imagery. You create the most beautiful, you create the most innovative, and you let the light become your tool to create what's in your head. I'm the one don't have all the technical terms on my sleeves. I have all the emotions and feeling at my sleeve and try to hold that for my talent. And lights are just a tool. Profoto lights are just tools to help me create that vision. So when I was asked to judge a high key, automatically then I had to switch my artistry mind to the technical mind. And my technical mind is saying it's white background and softer shadow, it pops 3D, and then takes me back to how magazine would ask me, I want you to shoot a cover of Cosmo. We want high key because it becomes really three-dimensional off the newsstand. It pops. It's a little cartoony at times because it's very three-dimensional. And that was everything what Christopher did not do. So I was very captivated by this image because it's everything that I'm not taught what high key images are. Right? He
Yeah.
took the image for me to look at, and I can see there's first read, there's a second read, there's a tertiary read. I'm not sure which read should be my first read. If I look really deep into it, I can see the eyeball of the person. Then it's like, is it a vase? Is it fabric? Is it feather? Then I got lost. And that's when I go, oh, I think I love this picture because I've forgotten it's about high key. I think of it as an image, as a beautiful creation. And because
Yeah.
high key was the starting point, the end result is this, makes me fall in love with this picture. So I love it.
See, I mean, and I would argue that it is still high key. I think when we think about high key, it's something that's brighter, it's low contrast, it has some more of an even lit feel. And I would argue that those ingredients are here. We don't see dark figures so per se, or something that isn't poorly lit. So it technically does kind of fit the brief. But to your point, it's more thought provoking. It kind of has an abstract feel to it. I think from the ABDM world, we love a little fashion, we love a little movement. So like those things automatically kind of reel us in. And then there's color. I think color coupled with high key is not always the thing. Usually when we hear high key, it's a white backdrop majority of the time. And I think coupling that with this colorful, very impactful red, it just made you feel like, wow, there is a different way to maybe achieve a high key image that isn't just relying on like a white background. And like, so I think that like these are the type of images that we love to create, and we want people to think about this about our work. So it's amazing to see, someone do this for this challenge and not, do it in an innovative way, in my opinion.
I would say, let me tell y'all something. I will hang this on my wall. I feel like this is such a beautiful image. And you know, we love a little motion blur. But what I've seen even in his diagram, his lighting diagram, is that not only did he use, you know, light to bounce off the white backdrop, but he also used windows. So he used every kind of light imaginable. And I think that that is incredible. I think it was a really great idea, you know, and to be able to create a high key image on color is very innovative, is very progressive. I think he did a great job. I love the color red. My mom's favorite color is red. So I hope I'm not biased when I say that, but I love it.
You know what? And not to interject too much, but looking at the lighting diagram, this is the first time I've actually kind of seen how this was made. And what I think is cool about this is these are just A2s.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it just
Not
goes to
even
show,
the
like,
craziest build.
yeah, you don't have to go crazy on the equipment that you're using to take an image like that.
Exactly.
And
That's art.
it's 100%. So I didn't want to interject myself too much into this, but that's the first time I saw that, and it's an incredible image.
But I think this also have this strong reminiscence of film. Is like cross processing. Back in the days,
Oh, yeah.
we do cross process. We take the Fuji film, we reverse it, we dip it in hot water, we do all the
Yep.
tricks to get here. And at the first when you think there's a lot of trickery going into it, but to your point, Chris, it's like it's actually incredibly simple. The
Yeah.
light is available to him. Then he took control of the shutter speed. He took control of his ISO, and he took control of the camera. And not every photographer works that way. I
Sure.
know when I talked about it, I'm not a technical photographer. I am not an educator like Roberto can name off every single things on that menu. Forget about it. I don't even know which camera I'm using tomorrow. I grabbed the one that feels good in my hand, but what I know is what's in here, and I try to find that translation to make it happen.
For
And
sure.
this touches me here because, like, oh, wow, he broke all the rules that I know.
Yep.
Right? He broke all the rules. I know what a high key image is, and
Yeah.
I'm going to see high key in a very different way from this point forward.
Sure.
I wish I was on
Who else
set with
did-
them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say, like, this is a great group of photographers talking about this image. I've been judging for a long time, and this is one of the best discussions I've seen on the balance between creativity and technicality, right? Like it is quite interesting to hear everybody's perspective, because when you think of high key, when I first saw this image, I said, why is this even in this category? It doesn't really scream high key, because if you tell me what's high key, it's an image that is clean and it has controlled lighting. The background supports the style of the photograph, like it really goes with it. Shadows are soft, but they're not eliminated. That's a big mistake people make. They grab a high key image and they think it's just flat. What makes a high key image successful is when there are shadows that separates it from the background, but they're not eliminated. And then what Ahmad was saying, and everybody here is like, and you and everybody's like, this guy totally, or is it a guy or a guy? Yeah, this guy totally destroyed all of the aspects that we had on what high key is. And I gotta be honest, I still have a hard time thinking this is a high key image, but I see elements of high key. I just don't see like a full-on high key. But the creativity and the fact that there is two kinds of real photographers: the one that you take a photo of what you see, and you do it really well, and there's photographers that transform what's possible. It challenges your paradigm of what's possible in a camera. What can your brain do? And when you have a camera like this, you take a picture, and whatever it sees, it takes a picture of it. You go, okay, that's great. But this guy took it to the next level, where what you see is not what you get.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's not what you get. So it really shows you that when you buy these cameras, don't accept what can be seen through the lens.
For sure.
Don't accept it. Say, what can I bring to the table using this as the tool? Not this controls everything. This is the creativity. This is the tool to make the creativity happen. And what you don't see, what you see is not what you get. And to me, that blows me away.
One little thing too that I think is interesting, because I think when you're messing around with motion blur too, motion blur can sometimes have this feeling of being accidental. Like it feels like you got it, and this one feels very intentional. And I think it's a really good execution, because I mean, a lot of you could just shake your camera and make motion blur. Like this feels incredibly intentional.
This makes me want to go on and shoot like that. And like what
100%.
Dante said too, I want to put this as a frame in my house. I just want
On
to
a
frame
frame.
this thing. Like I want to see
Can
a
we?
series of 3 of these.
Yeah, I mean, on their profile, I don't. We don't have to go. I don't want to go click through, and this is not
Yeah.
the Chris show, but I think like their series actually has it's like a trio or at least a diptych from the series. It was really good. If I may ask, could we go to Zarita's image next?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. This is as Zarita, who's up next. Hold on, let me just flip through
It
real
was the
fast.
one with like the dirt.
Oh gosh, right here is the
That
one.
one.
Here we go.
Yeah. I wanted to bring their image up next because I felt like similar to what we were talking about the last image, there's like this additional abstract feel to it that was really really cool, and that like again, as we were talking about what from my perspective a high key image is, it's usually clean, it's usually kind of this depth and everything, but I think something that was very interesting here is kind of using the movement of the dirt across to kind of disrupt the cleanliness, disrupt the high key nature of the photo, and kind of again create something that was very new. So I wanted to juxtapose this image to the first image because it kind of had the same feel to me in terms of being this disruptor into what you expect a high key image to look like.
And let me, if I could jump in, and I think it's also because when you think of high key images, it's not about hiding something; it's about exposing something, right? It's about what we're going to expose and what you will see. And most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, it's actually a subject matter you want them to see clearly. We see that in beauty campaigns very often. We see in product photography. So much of fragrance bottles are shot with a high key because you want them to just stand up. You want to see, you want them to only see one thing. We see in advertising all the time on billboards. You can't miss it. What I love about this is reminiscent of very old Herbris, Tracy Chapman,
Yes.
album packaging. It is about the shape and the negative space, and you feel this image without seeing this person's
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
And that's really beautiful. And I think that's really a challenge to do with high key images. This photographer flipped it around. I would have never thought to do silhouettes with high key in this way. But still
Yeah.
having that kickback light on the back, that acting almost the secondary key to really articulate the fingers and just a little bit of touch light in the nose. It's quite brilliant. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, I really like this image too. It reminds me of this South African artist named Zanelli Maholi. Hopefully, I got her name right. But I think one of the things that I feel like was missing when I seen this is like it reminds me of like Avatar the Earthbender. So I wanted to see. It would have been incredible to see the muse kind of dance with the dirt. Whether
Mm,
that's whether it's like a collage together or whether it was like motion blur. And I think too, one of the things we love shooting silhouette images. We try to do that every chance we get. But one of the things I also love to see is bone structure, and I feel like that's what I'm missing. And I feel like what it's also like set this image off just a little bit more dimension in the light. Like it's a beautiful image, but I'm like, yeah, this could have been pushed just a hair more to kind of tell the story that the artist wants to tell.
mm.
I wanna I wanna say something that like when I see this image, I just want to talk about how I react. Okay, just react, like not think, just talk about what I'm thinking. There is a very interesting thing going on in this image, and if you can zoom it in real quick because it's really
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
Usually when you have a photo like this, usually the elements like the posing and the dirt around it are created by the photographer, and the idea comes together technically and artistically. But it's rare when you have elements like the dirt and this kind of pose and stuff, but it looks like a moment was captured, not an idea was executed. Does that make sense? The
Ooh,
difference? Like
yes.
the difference is this is a moment captured versus an idea that was executed. And that to me is next level amazing, because this is very well planned. Yet when you see this image, you react like it's a moment that happened. And it's pretty mind blowing that a moment this dynamic would just happen. Obviously it didn't, but the way this photographer executed this, you can tell that it was a very good relationship with that subject, and they had a really
Yeah.
good idea of what they were doing. And yeah, I see mistakes. I see some stuff that it's distracting, like his index finger pointing straight up at his arm. Like I wish that was curved, but you don't see his face much. That's cool. You see his fingers covering his face to keep adding to the whole mystery to it all. But when you combine it all, it looks like a candid moment captured in a very cool way. And to me, that's very hard to pull off. So huge congrats to this guy or girl or whoever shot this.
I think it's a woman.
It's a woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zarita.
Who is it? Serena. Yeah, congrats to her. I mean,
Congratulations. Yeah.
this is crazy good. I mean, these submissions are, yeah, they're really well done.
Oh,
Yeah.
behind the scenes
Who?
images.
Yeah.
Cool. And so let's go down here. Let's jump into who we got next. Chris Stark.
Ooh. I really liked the movement. I think one. I mean, can we just talk about shooting dancers? It's just like shooting
It's amazing.
dancers is just always like one of those very just kismet things where it's like you're really just setting yourself up for like what beauty am I going to capture today? So it's just always
100%.
cool. We had a shoot and we just got to dance around New York with dancers and it was like probably one of our favorite shoots. So I think one of the alluring things here is just the movement between her body is just like all of the points connecting and then the reflection on the ground is just it's always this elegance that's there. Like even she's posing down to her fingertips, 'cause similar to what you were just talking about, Roberto. Her fingertips are in the right places here, like you really get to
Yeah.
see it. And so I thought that it was again that it was this cool balance between illuminating the parts of her that really show her structure, in the dance world, showing the toneness of their legs, the curvature of their bodies. All of that here is done, but still there's this kind of moodiness and mysteriousness done with the silhouette nature of it. But again, it still feels a bit more like a high key image, but done in a little bit more creative and pushed way.
I'll jump in. So I think this picture is beautiful. I think is balanced. It's technically everything checks the box. I wish it wasn't so perfect. I
Mm,
enjoy a picture that just has that little mistakes that makes it more human. Yes, the fingertips and the toes. And I'm a former dancer, so I get it. You want everything to be perfect. And it wasn't so much the dancer wants his pictures to be perfect, the photographer did too, all the
for
way down
sure.
to the ripples. And I felt like it was so restrained and controlled. It
Mm,
I would have loved to have a moment of freedom in here and doesn't I hate to say it, but I'm sure people don't hate me for saying this. I don't feel like she's having fun when this picture was taken.
mm,
And dancers have fun. This is a still moment rather than a capture moment. Does that make sense? This was not a moment she moved in this position. The water is rippling and there's action around her. This is meticulously placed, fingers right, toes are right, the water's not moving, and the reflection, whatever we use, mylars or whatnot, everything just so perfect. I
Yeah.
don't want perfection. I want beyond. I want break the perfection. Give me something surprising,
Yeah.
beautiful,
mm.
but not surprising.
Yeah, I think too. I love concepts that play on different dimension. Has a very like Stranger Thing type of feel, which I think is pretty cool. And obviously, it's beautiful because it made our top six. But I would say like I love it, but I'm not in love. And I
Mhm.
was waiting
Mm.
to be in love.
I get you, Ante. I get everything you're saying. I get it.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think it goes back to Roberto was saying too about a moment captured versus like just a technical shot. Like it's like you were saying, Usai, it's kind of like it's not necessarily a quote unquote moment, but definitely like a skillfully placed posed shot.
you know, um, can I come in real quick for this because
Of
I'm loving
course.
what you guys are saying. Like I'm so pumped right now. Oh my god. But here's what's happening. Here's what you guys said and Ahmad. Like I mean, I'm just like, yeah, I totally see that. But here's the one thing. I don't know if you guys agree, so tell me if you don't agree, but I feel like the saving grace of this image being so perfect, like you said, is the fact that her attention is on the fingertips and the reflection of that material, and it kind of breaks up that perfect image. Like she's not
Mm.
just like doing this weird pose and waiting for the camera to waiting to hear the shutter, like she seems preoccupied in her own mind, like staring at her own reflection. At the same time, dancers always put themselves in this crazy position, especially ballerinas. Like, you've seen a ballerina stand, they always put their feet out like that. It's kind of funny.
First
Like,
position.
and yeah, first position. Yeah. And I find it interesting that you're showing the technical ability of her body to be a ballerina, what a ballerina can do. But she's so used to her body being able to do these incredible angles that it's just another day for her. And that thought process of her touching that mylar or whatever that material is, it takes the pose away from being posy, and it makes it almost like a moment, but it's still too perfect, like you guys said. But I think there is a saving grace in her mind being focused on in her own little world. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Yeah, yeah, I like that idea that like there's this narrative of like if we want to get a little more artsy museum esque here, it's like what is she thinking? Like what is preoccupying her where she doesn't even look at the camera? Like why is
Mm-hmm.
she in this pose and things like that. So I agree with you. Like there is some deeper, narrative that could be placed
Mm-hmm.
there. Of course, not sure what the intention was holistically, but like if we wanted to think deeper about what the narrative could be, I can get down with that.
It
And
makes
it
you
would
ask
be cool.
questions.
It would be so cool if the maker of this image is listening, and I would ask you, and I would challenge you, and I'm sure every judge here would challenge you in how could you make this image more like what Yutsai just said or Ahmad, where you break that perfection and you make it more into a moment, like the previous photo we just saw with the dirt, where it looks like a total moment. So look at this image and ask yourself what would be the next variation of this that could accomplish that, because this is very, you guys are nailing it in my opinion. Like it's very well executed, but it's like 90% technical,
Yeah.
10%
Yes.
feeling.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the outtakes. I
Yeah.
bet you there's something incredibly beautiful in the outtakes that
Mm,
there
Yeah.
already. This is
And
yeah.
I would love to even see the image flipped.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a good point too, Dante.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like upside down, like
Hmm.
head
Yep.
Yeah,
on,
like
like
Yes.
rotate
upside
it.
down? Like you mean
Chris,
like
you're
a
about to ask
mirror,
something.
like mirror?
Flipped upside down.
Oh, flipped
No,
upside down.
and I don't know if this changes anything about the image, but something that I noticed about it was, everything is. I'm married to a ballerina, and so I see a lot of stuff. But one of the things that I think is interesting, and it's tiny, it's a tiny detail, but the one finger is the only thing in the image that isn't stark. So like the legs start, all the pose start, but they're like the finger touching the mylar or the water or whatever feels delicate. So it's, I don't know, it's just, there's something interesting about that one little delicate element and something
Yeah.
that's so stark. Because all the rest of the fingers, they're just bam, they're straight, but there's just something about that little bend my eyes are just like locked in on.
I
Yeah,
get you.
totally. It's like she's doodling in the mylar, right? Like she's in her
Yeah.
own thought, doodling, sort of thing. That's a very nice thing, because most ballerinas, they have to stand on one foot, or it's like all their weight in one very small part of their body, which is kind of resembling that with her finger a little bit.
Yes,
Sure.
very
But
very cool.
Want to go to the next one?
Let's do it. So we have
Ooh.
my
me
favorite.
Let
Juan.
Roberto, go ahead, kick us off. We already
Let's
gonna
do
let you
this,
talk about
people.
this
Let's
one.
get this party started. I can't even start talking about this image. It's so ridiculously awesome. Okay, I know you guys are gonna kill me for this, but I just have to say, like, I in a world of AI and filters and Photoshop this and generative this and blah blah that and changing the skies, and I've after 22 years of photographing, I'm going back to this to masterful simplicity,
Mm,
masterful. And I know this doesn't have the creativity of Christopher's image that we first saw. Not at all. It's like 10% of the. In fact, this is not creative at all, except for the outfit. It's cool, but let's break it down into smaller pieces. That execution of that light in the jawline is so spectacularly done when it comes to like a masterful high key image. I mean, it's there, but the shadow doesn't take away from anything. It separates her from the background, but it doesn't let it blend in or contaminate it at all. The feathers are exposed properly, but the face is still brighter than the feathers on her face, which is pretty hard to pull off. And the expression and the way that they shot it with that 50 millimeter lens or whatever that seems to be, it's executed so well that this became my favorite image, even though it's not the most creative image. To me, is the most well executed image in the high key challenge.
And I like this too, honestly. I think that number one, I think the skin retouching is beautiful. So great job with that. I love how you can't tell if it's hair or the feathers or if they're just wrapped up. You can't tell if she's a beautiful swan or a beautiful girl. It makes you question, like, okay, like what is this muse? Like what is the inspiration behind this? But like you said, I think it kind of lacked that wow factor. It has that beauty factor. But I'm not like, oh my gosh, like wow. But I do love a good catch light. One thing I might know about me, I love a good catch light.
He's a
Love
stickler
a
for
good
a
eye
catch light.
moment. I'm a sucker for a catch light.
Oh, Dante, Catchlight
Yeah,
Maurice.
How do you guys feel
right.
about her right eye being
Yeah,
slightly
so
covered by the feathers?
that's what I was gonna talk about. I was gonna give, I do feel like there's some creativity here that is also being pushed and some quote unquote risks being taken in terms of like the placement of the feathers. And even I would say like as perfect at it as it is like that little branch on the left, like that little piece of branch in the bottom, I guess left corner, like why did we keep that in versus taking that out? Like but I can see that it continues the arc of everything and blah, blah, blah. So it's just like, I do feel like there are some subtle risks taken here that also push the image a little bit beyond just maybe a standardized beauty image that you may have seen from anyone. I do, want to say kudos to the balancing of the different whites and things like that. You don't have anything blown out or
Yep.
overexposed or anything like that. Again, as you said earlier, you can see the technicality in a lot of these images that show that these are people who are actually taking this very serious. And even looking at their setup, there's a lot of diffusion of light going
Yep.
around. Like we've done this a lot on set, where you have like a lot of the silks and the bounces and things like that. That kind of it would assumes that like they kind of created this white box effect around the model that was actually like pretty cool to kind of create this
Yeah.
soft but still brightly lit and impactful. I agree with everyone. There's definitely some additional risks that could have pushed it beyond something that is maybe awe-inspiring, but it's still a very beautiful image, and that's why it made our top six.
Well, let me jump in a little here. So I think we all can agree that anybody who can pick up a camera can call themselves photographer these days, right? And
Yeah.
anybody who wants to do a submission has a right to feature their work. But one thing that I always talk to my assistants or people who aspire to photographers is to learn good taste. Like, good taste to me is beyond any technical aspect of learning. Good taste, it doesn't matter what camera you use. Good taste doesn't even matter how much exposure of light you use. This picture right here is, to me, is good taste. The photographer has really good taste in the type of model she wants to capture or he wants to capture. It has good taste in knowing that amount of feather to use and not overuse. The way the model glances at her is it just all perfectly lined up to what I call good taste. It's not
Mhm.
overt, it's not too much, it's the retouching is not overdone. Everything just in that perfect balance. So
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
look at this picture, I know who this photographer is right away.
Yeah.
I can tell who this person is, how this person would choose the lens I would choose, and everything this person photographed would be uh, connected to me. It
Yeah.
has this nice compression. It has engagement and there's a calmness to it. So this image
Yeah.
tells
Yeah.
me more about the photographer than anything else.
Yeah. And I
Technically,
Yeah.
because as
yeah.
Roberto said, technically it's so perfect, I don't have to look at that anymore. And I've forgotten to
Hmm.
technicality.
Yeah.
I only look at who the photographer is. And that's really valuable in our industry because we get hired
Yeah.
by who we are. We get hired by the personality of who we are, the culture that we bring, the taste level we take our image to, because we all probably share a lot of same clients. Each one of us bring different taste to the
Yeah.
image.
Yeah.
So I really
Yeah.
appreciate this picture because
Yeah.
this picture, this photographer showed me what's his name? I want to say his name right or
It's,
her
I
name.
think, yeah, I think their name is Me Wong.
Miwan. Well,
Yes.
I appreciate that Miwan shared this photo because it shares who she is rather
Yeah.
than just I know how to take picture with high key.
And I would say too,
Yeah.
if you would have added some jewelry on it, it would have been a Swarovski holiday
Oh, absolutely.
campaign as well.
Yeah. I will say
Another thing is
something that.
cool. So,
Oh, go ahead,
sorry, go.
Roberto.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Remember when you said about not being so perfect in the last image? I think having her eye partially covered on the right side actually takes away some of that total perfection, and it makes it look more like it could have been a moment. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
not, but it kind of gives it that feeling that it's not so perfect, like because
Yeah.
technically this image, I think we all agree that technically this image is perfect,
Yes.
right?
This could
But
be an ad for Profoto. It could
yeah,
definitely
It could
could be an ad
easily.
absolutely.
right here.
100%.
Yeah.
But
Hands
Versus
down.
taking
I mean,
notes.
Imagine the right
yeah.
eye being not covered at all. It would have been too perfect. Like that,
Yep.
there has to be some element that's a little messy, like that thing coming from her right shoulder too. That thing coming out of there, that little
Yeah.
stick. Like should that maybe that could have been removed, maybe. But
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
yeah. There's that. But the eye, I think I enjoy the eye being slightly covered by that.
Yeah, I was just reading their notes, and actually, the background is of a 5 inch octa, or 5 foot octa as the white background. So they're doing that, classic trick of using the light as the backdrop. That's actually kind of giving that wraparound glow, which is cool. Now, something that I didn't notice until you were breaking it down with all the features, the lips, the pursing of the lips here is so perfect. I'm like, that has been something that is like very been like stuck with me. Like some people's lips, sometimes they're a little too open, or it's closed and it feels a little sterile. But it's like that, even just the little pursing of the lips is also like just a little oomph to the photo that like it still brings you in. So I love that as well.
One thing too
This
that's
image
really
is
nice.
powerful.
Yeah, one thing that's also really nice too, and people with the head tilt generally tend to go too far, and it becomes really nasally. I just think the pose was hit right. Again, the lips are fantastic. It's a beautiful image.
Yeah. Cool.
Agree.
I think we have two more. Is it two more
We
left?
have we have two more. Let's see where we are. Here we go. This is Ariel
Ooh.
Lewis.
Fashion.
Right, fashion drama. Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of. I know Dante's joking. Fashion is something that we say a lot when we are talking about like those fashion images that scream like this is a fashion image, and this was kind of like one of those where it's like it has those elements of drama that kind of draws you in. You see all of the fabric or whatever that may be, a part of the collar that's really cool. It's a little bit more dramatic hair. Um, and there's again kind of like this duality here where it's balancing the addition of light, the illumination of light, but also the removal of light. But I think really what's singing here is all of the shapes and the sculptural elements of it that really kind of tell the story. Like I think as we talked about in some of the other images, like the curvature, the posing, the movement, you see all of that from the collar, their hair, their fingertips. It's just all kind of moving across the screen.
I'll jump in really quick about this one. This wasn't one of my wild moments. And the reason I picked this one of the top six because I thought it was a great opportunity to talk about it that would help the photographer is that I'm not a fan of this cropping. I think
Mm,
when you look at this image, the photographer, sorry if I'm being candid, is in love with the shape he has created. But if you would just crop this as a vertical, allow the picture to bleed out from left to right, then your eyes would really draw you in. Right now, we're seeing a T shape. I'd rather to see that we go outside the frame, come inside the frame. And there's some awkwardness of the fingertips that drives me a little crazy. The holding of the fabric from behind is a little clubby, drives me crazy. And then the little bit of technicality for me is that if you move the light just 45-degree pivot a tiny, you become a Rembrandt. I think it would have been more interesting, or just go straight on frontal. It feels like everything just a little off, but not in the way of accidental cool. It's like you're almost there. I want to have this picture because I want him to know you are almost there. Look at it, study it, look at your cropping. Don't fall in love with the picture you take. Work on it again. Look at it where you can make it better. Because if you just turn her head a little bit away from the light, you move that fingertip just a little separation from the body, you take the club hand and make it open up and just shift the weight of the shoulder and crop it vertical, it will be a winner for me.
But Yusa, I have to ask a question here. I'm going to advocate for the other photographers out there. What's
Sure.
the difference between almost there and imperfectly perfect? What's the
Ah,
difference?
see, to me, imperfect are compositional. Imperfect are shapes that you will create that is in the moment, a catch of a moment. But a light, there's one light right here. We've seen that light. That light has to render the beauty of this model. From this where I'm looking at, the nostril, the nose, the shadow fall on that nose is neither long or short. It's falling in a weird place that distorts her beauty. And I think light for me, I love beauty. I celebrate beauty. If I'm gonna make a picture ugly, it has to go really ugly. It has to be beauty. Let's make it beauty. Don't fall in the middle. To me, he didn't see the possibility of this image to be better, for my
Mm.
opinion.
Guys, I have to say something about this. This is such a cool conversation again. And this photo frustrates the hell out of me. It frustrates me because I know I want to love it, but there is here's what I'm thinking. Again, I'm reacting. Her body is facing the camera. Her arm is facing the camera. Her hand clubbing that material is facing the camera. And then her face is facing the camera, which takes away the magic of having her on profile and creating that delicate profile with that light in the face. And that profile would have gone from a photo that looks good to a photo that makes you feel something, you know? And because she's looking, most photographers take a photo with the model looking at the camera. It is kind of instinctive to do that. But when you have all this silhouette and material and the headpiece and the hair and all this stuff, can you imagine if her photo was on, if her face was on profile with her chin up, looking down or eyes closed, and the light would have been right on her face? That would have made this photo, to me, make me feel something. And the photographer stopped short because he saw the image or she saw the image and said, "Dude, the lighting hit." But like you said too, like the nose weird. It's like, no, yes, the light hit. Who cares? Like, how do you make it so it feels the light that makes you feel something? And I think that if she just would have gone profile, it would have
Yeah.
nailed it.
Now,
I
now I
agree.
do want to ask one. Okay, go ahead. I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
ask you one question, Dante. Like in the notes, they're using a 24 to 70. I know when we're on set a lot, Dante has a thing about compression, and you mentioned it
Mm.
earlier.
Yeah.
You saw compression. And, Dante, how do you feel about them using like such a wide angle lens? Is that a benefit or is that a hindrance in getting
Man,
this shot correct?
I think it's a benefit when it's an artful image. It's not a benefit when it comes to celebrity because then you got to answer so many questions. You got to do so much post work. But I think when it comes to an artful image like this, I think it helps to kind of have a little bit of distortion, a little fun distortion. I will say this. As a photographer that is a part of a photography duo, I do love a little matchmaking. And so I would have loved to see this photographer and the photographer that took a ballerina shot mush these photos together.
Mm,
Interesting.
I feel like that would have created such an impeccable image with the way that the garment is flowing, with the way the hair is flowing, also flowing with the leg. Like everything would just be flowing literally like water, and then having it reflect on the ground. They may need to think about being a photo duo.
stop
They may need to.
Like I
it.
said, it's we picked the top six because it has all the potential to be a great photo.
Yep.
Has it's all there. Just need to kind of tighten all the screws and just give a little shiv and a little love and give a little cropping. It's almost there. It's almost
Yeah.
there.
Absolutely.
No. All right. Let's move on to our final selects.
Ooh.
You know, Ma, we love a good silhouette.
Jump right
Yeah,
in.
I thought this one was one of those. I think when we were talking about quote unquote trickery, I think this one was one of those images that kind of it's an illusion. It's an optical illusion that's
Yeah.
kind of playing with you. Like, like is the model wearing a black, cat suit, or is it lying? Is it lighting? How did they get the bottom of the dress to look like this and keep the top silhouette so great and crisp? And you start to ask those questions, which is good. Like, I think that is good when we're thinking about, again, a lighting challenge. You're pushing the elements of high key. You see the elements of high key, but this was a very quote unquote technical setup, and like, I think this particular photographer had the most lights out of everybody used in their setup. But it was really cool in terms of like having that dichotomy between lighting the bottom of the dress and having the silhouette at the top,
Yeah.
compared to all of the other ones.
I see so many elements of Richard Avedon, and I think that's why I love the shot. Like, I am completely biased towards Richard Avedon. I think he can't take a bad image, and this reminds me of Richard Avedon in the best way. Do I think that could have been pushed? Absolutely. But I do think it's a beautifully clean image.
Clean is a good word. I think
Yeah,
clean is a good word.
if I was looking to hire a photographer to create image like this, he would be the one. But I would heavily art direct it, meaning that
Mm,
I think the proportion of the dress and the upper body is too much the same. I
yeah.
don't like seeing the silhouette of the hair. It looks like the silhouette of the face, so I don't have a contrast. I again, very much like the one previous to this one, it's all the potential to be great. I would love to see some expression with a hand that's behind. There's so many things you could do to this picture. That's what I mean by, if I was on set with this photographer, heavily putting art direction to it, I feel that this picture can come to life. It's so static. It becomes an illustration. It has
Mm,
all the technicality, but imagine the hair is a little bit moving, so it echoes the feather. Imagine the left hand is not just sitting on the hip, but it actually moves away from the hand that you don't know is rising or falling. Like, this picture, the way the finger is right by the mouth is holding this still. I wanted to feel that is it coming closer to my mouth or moving away. I want to capture moment. This is a static image. And don't kill me by saying this. This feels like a cutout that you go at Disneyland. You can get a picture taken and to cut it out for you for a silhouette and stick it on the paper. You take it home and put it on your refrigerator door. But I love what this person's capability and technicality. I can't do this. I have never done this and probably will not be able to do this. I know if I work with this person, I can bring something to it. Together,
yeah.
I think it would be a really beautiful picture.
Now, Yusai, is that taste like what you're communicating? Like we talked about this with Me's image, like the things are there, the dials are turned. Is that taste that you're communicating? Like
Yes, because taste
amping up
also
the taste level?
right. I mean, I seen you guys for a downtown line. You guys see from finger to toes. You see fabric. You see, and those things you learn over time, or you just born with. You understand proportion. This proportion drives me crazy. Like, look at this, it drives me crazy. It's top heavy, it's bottom heavy. I can't tell where it is. It doesn't have drama. It's too static for me. And the hair is very, in a way, old fashioned. So it takes it
Yeah.
into that silhouette that you cut out, like grandmother's silhouette or something. But maybe that's all intentional, right? That maybe that's a photographer's intention. For
Yeah.
my taste, I would have loved that hair to be a little bit more
Flowing.
natural,
Yeah.
right? Movement,
Let it
drama.
let it, let it mimic
All
the
right.
dress.
I,
Mm.
as a
Roberto.
fellow wedding photographer that I used to be, I have to bring the wedding perspective into the discussion, and I would love to hear what you guys think about that perspective, because I don't know, have any of you shot weddings before? Probably not.
I've shot
No.
them.
No. So here's the perspective that I see as a person that shot 500 weddings in my career. There's two parts to this. When a bride gets her wedding dress and she goes with her friends to get the wedding dress, it's supposed to be a secret of what the dress looks like to the husband.
Wow.
So the husband never sees the dress, and it's a big moment for them. So when you see the finger going like that, it's almost like this is the dress. Don't tell anyone. I freaking love that. I love it.
Wow.
I
Come on,
love that
narrative.
perspective.
It's a great
Narrative.
perspective. Yeah.
That,
Beautiful.
Hands
that is
down. I
so,
love that perspective.
dude, that was so cool to me. I was just like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
So
girls, this is the dress. Don't tell Jimmy or whatever his name is. This is the dress, right? And the second part is in total disagreement with you, Sai, on this because the hair, that old-fashioned hair that you was talking about, is what makes this the second part of my perspective. Is that what happens after the wedding? You have the wedding night, right? And what happens at the wedding night? Bam chicka bow wow, right?
oh,
And
okay.
and because she's partially silhouetted nude, you don't know, she's implied nude. She could be wearing a leotard. You don't know what she's wearing, but it's implied that from the top, from the waist up, it is her basically exposed for her husband, and that old-fashioned hair makes her realize that it's only the husband that gets to see her like that. She's not some wild
Yeah.
girl from the 1990s going crazy. Like, she's like, looks like a very reserved, classic, beautiful, elegant, educated woman, but she's opening herself up for her husband on the wedding night. I find that to be super cool. Secrets from the husband. I think the image from that perspective, brilliant.
Um. Yeah.
That
I
might
will say, as we all gave our feedback, we're not even talking about the lighting here. The lighting is not the problem. Like we got to be honest here. I want to
You know
break it
what though?
down. Like,
I'll change my perspective here. By hearing your perspective in the story, this is a sensible picture. A good
Yeah.
Yeah.
picture. A picture is for us to have a discussion. A picture is for us to
Yeah.
have disagreement. A picture is to give
Context.
every person a different emotion.
Yeah.
And you know what? By that alone, it's an amazing photo.
Oh,
Yeah, and
thank you, brother.
that's what I was gonna say. I was literally gonna say I think like the narrative is what, like, the lighting was never the problem. The lighting
Yeah.
is great. You know, this is a very technical and
Yep.
skilled approach shot. You know, they did this setup in an amazing way. What we're talking about is the extra, the narrative, the taste, the choices.
And
I
our
just
personal
wanted, like,
choices, right? It's all
right.
very personal choices.
Yeah, and so it's like, just because it's not our preferences or choices of how we would approach it, like, Roberto, first of all, hands down,
Oh, thanks,
come
man.
on, give us the narrative, reel us in. So it's just like,
You
yeah,
guys
like,
are
I
the
think, like,
best.
Absolutely.
really great
No,
perspective
it,
in showing us, like, there's a whole different way to view this image, which I think is
Yep.
amazing.
well, I think that's what's great about this, right? We have you guys, and we have Chris Payne inviting Profoto invites this group of photographers. That's the whole point, is to bring up perspectives. When I saw this image, I thought, God, what a genius image, because I saw the secret, the work a bride takes, and the pride she takes on hiding the beautiful dress she chose for her wedding day. And that pose to me says that that's what the photographer was trying to show. And that
Mhm.
old-fashioned hair with the implied nudity from the waist up, it's like it's for the husband too. So there are two gifts to the husband: how beautiful she looks on that dress, and her herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
So I just
All
feel
right,
my
Chris.
heart goes to this image. And yes, there is mistakes. I can see some things that I wish I would have changed, but the artistry and the storytelling on this image cannot be undermined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris, I feel like if you let us keep going, we're gonna talk about more. So
Forever.
Yeah,
reel us
Yeah.
I took it away. I took it away. Yeah, you can't see it anymore. We're not doing this. I'm not doing this with you. I'm out of here. I got a plane to catch. Um, if I miss my flight, Ahmad Dante, you got to come out here and get me. You got to bring me home.
we'll
We
come
will.
get
We'll
you.
drive.
Let's
We'll drive.
let's do it, baby.
We'll be
So
there next week.
the
You will make it back next week.
so the perspectives on the 6 images have been incredible, and the way that you guys have been able to talk about them and critique them, I think second to none. You guys are amazing. Now I know that the 6 were curated by you all together, but we also, I believe, of a favorite. I'm going to pull that one up, and then I'm going to share it, and then we can talk about why. So, like, little drum roll.
Bam.
The choice,
Winner.
Christopher Fernandez, is the winner.
Great job. Yeah.
of the high key lighting challenge. And so just let's talk about why this is the winner, and we will say goodbye.
All right. So for me, I think for all the different things we talked about in all 6 different images, we kind of can use this one to encapsulate all of them. An image that's not just about technicality, it's about artistry as well. The imagery that evokes conversation and has first read, second read, and tertiary read. An image that for me that challenged me as a photographer to see a project differently, to approach a project differently. This image will affect how I see high key from this point forward. And I think that's why I picked this as a winner. Because been doing this for all of us been doing this for 27 years. And for someone to come in and said, look at this in a different way, that is a winner to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, exactly what you said. I think when I see the image, it's innovative, it's thought provoking, it's abstract, it pulls you in. When you
Yeah.
stare at it for longer, you see multiple things, you are drawn into multiple things. But I want to be clear, in looking at the setup, I think there's nothing more than a creative and resourceful photographer. Like, there's nothing better than that. Because if you would put this in front of us, we're like, oh, yeah, huge setup, like not two, A2s pointed against a white psych. So it's not just it's the processing of how to. I think you said it earlier, Roberto. The processing of how to create an image is not just the skill and not and missing the moment. This is where both of those things marry together. There's obviously some thought in how to create a high key lighting image with what they had, with resources that they had. What if they challenge themselves as like, oh, I'm going to use a more pulled back and minimal setup to still create something that is impactful. So just thinking about those things, like this was an image that really kind of made me think about not only what it takes to make an image, but also doing something that is beyond what you just see right in front of you, in front of in your camera.
Yeah.
Amen to that, man. Amen to
Absolutely.
that. And it's also cool this can be a reminder to all of us, really, that the camera's capabilities, what the camera can do, and how a camera sees light and motion and movement and lighting and saturation of colors is a skill that was implemented in this image. Like, it wasn't just, here's my camera, I'm taking a picture, but instead you can tell this photographer actually knows how the camera will receive that light, will receive those colors, and say, let's see how we can use motion blur and the combination of strobes and the shutter speed to stop it but still give it some motion. What kind of shutter speed they used? Probably a slow shutter to create that saturation and the slow shutter combination. So it wasn't just the flash freezing the subject. You can tell it's shutter speed that is slow enough to make that motion in the subject. And that slow shutter speed also saturates colors. So that's why that red is rich. Sure, they
Yeah.
enhanced it in Photoshop, but that red is rich from the start. I can assure you. And I
Yeah.
think when I see this, I'm like, God, that is a person that really knows how a camera works, and they put it all together for something like that. And it's motivating all of us to rethink, like you said, like how a high key image can be done. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I would say too, like, I love when people take risk. He could have went, the normal high key setup, but they took it to a whole another level, and I think that that's what makes it absolutely beautiful. When he was shooting the shot, he probably had no idea what he was going to get, and it turned out to be an absolute masterpiece, and it helped him become chosen. And I think that that's incredible. Like I said, like it will be amazing on these empty
Yeah.
walls. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think one thing that I would love to leave with the one, congratulations to all of the photographers that submitted for this particular challenge. It's amazing, one, to submit to get feedback and to put your work up there to get criticized, so to speak. Congratulations to the top six. As much as we gave feedback, we want to also understand you were celebrated. You were one of the top six of the people out of the many
100%.
people. And I
Yeah.
think leaving that to the other people is like, dare. We have these challenges that kind of give you an idea of what you should, submit. break the mold. I think that's what we're saying we loved about this image. That one is like, okay, it has the technical makeups of it fits the brief in from a technical end, but it pushed forward. It took a step forward. So I hope everyone that's watching this and are going to submit for the future ones understand like that's probably what's going to be looked at, and scrutinized a little bit more. It's like, what are you doing to push yourself forward?
100%. This was a lot of fun, guys. I really, really appreciate y'all's time. Again, I think if nothing else, people came away with some really good ideas of how they should approach taking images. And I think we all left with, a different idea of what we thought a high key image was. And it's clearly something a lot more innovative than we thought it was.
Yeah.
So
well, Chris, thank you for hosting us. Thank you for hosting the conversation.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And
shout out to Profoto. Shout out.
Yeah.
So and big shout out to Christopher Fernandez. Congratulations, man.
Hey, too, baby.
Yes.
Nice seeing you all. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day,
Bye,
everybody.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Here we are. I can see me again. I couldn't get it to go away. And things are still a little wonky right now. It's fighting me a little bit. But Christopher Fernandez, congratulations. You are the winner for this month's high key lighting challenge. Really, really cool stuff. I'm going to pop the photo back up so everyone can see it, just because I think it's such a cool image. This is a really, really cool motion blur image by, again, the winner, Christopher Fernandez. If you want, you can go and see more of his work on Share the Light. Let me pop this up here really fast so you can see his information. Let's get rid of this. Let's go here. There's a lot of stuff happening. There we go. But this is where you can find Christopher Fernandez on Share the Light. It's got his social information. Please go check out his work. It's amazing. And that, with all of that being said, we are going to say goodbye. So if you didn't already know, the next lighting challenge for this month is live. It's all about soft light. So sharing your soft light images. The whole idea behind Race for the Gold is to, at the end, potentially win a gold wrapped Pro 11 with a Pro head. Awesome prize. The winner of every month is going to gets a fantastic prize too. I believe it's about $2,000 in Profoto gear. And then if you submit, here's the kicker. If you submit 3 times, so it could be any of the 3, or it could be 3 of any of the categories in which we have going on for the Share the Light competition. So far we've had dramatic light for October. We just got finished doing high key, and now we're going into soft light. If you have submitted in the first 2, and then you submit in the soft light, you are in the running for the grand prize for the Gold Pro 11. So make sure, if you haven't and you're interested in trying, submit 3 images. Give some stuff a try for the different categories. If it's something that's out of your wheelhouse, there's never been a better time to learn how to do something new. There's tons of information out there. I've done tons of videos on Geared Up on YouTube. You can go and check those out as well. But that being said, again, Christopher Fernandez, congratulations. Thank you all for submitting such fantastic images. Thanks for taking the time to share them with everyone. And we look forward to the next jury with all of the experts breaking down these images. And we appreciate everything. So y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.